Good Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday the 13th, man, and couldn't be a more appropriate day. Sorry, I a little late on my pre-market brief. I just wanted to listen to another idiot on CNBC talk about how low oil prices are great for the consumer. Guy's an idiot for managing that amount of money. Whatever, we'll get into that. Well, actually, we're going to get into that at 11 a.m. Eastern this morning. Okay, usually we're done for the week on Thursday with our weekly debrief. Based on the amount of people I haven't heard from since second grade saying, "Oh, hey, Edward." Oh, geez, I haven't been called Edward since second grade or the Navy. Family looks great. Anyway, I need to make money, and I hear you're the guy. So I've responded to everybody and said, you know what? I'm just going to do a free brief, show you what I'm doing today at 11. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief. As of what time is it? 8:56 in the morning. We have over 961 people, 976. We'll have a couple thousand people in this brief this morning. Register even if you can't attend, because I will send out the replay. Okay, I'll send out the replay. You have to watch today, folks, because I'm actually going to tell you when and if I'm going to buy this market with both hands. What are my indicators? I have 4 of them. Everybody, Wiz, where's the bottom? When do I start buying? I'll tell you when, at 11 a.m. I told my members yesterday. Now I'll try and help people out. I put the ladder down, folks. Whether when you make it to a higher rank in the military, or you get to go to Top Gun, or you get to do cool things in the military, you put the ladder down, man. You help your sister, your brother out, and you lift them higher. Wall Street doesn't do that, folks. It was disgusting, my time on Wall Street. They'd step over their own mother to make a buck, push her in front of a train. I'm not joking. I don't. Put the ladder down. We're looking at over $2 million since this implosion in profit. And I have members that are doing a hell of a lot better than these portfolios, folks. People trading different contract sizes, stuff like that. You're going to hear from them at 11 o'clock. Wiz, I have a small account. Wait till you see people who, with a couple weeks ago, started with $2,000. And one guy last night in the training was like, I'm up to 89 grand. And he started with 2. I have a guy that started with Top Gun Options 10 years ago with $1,500, and he went through $1 million yesterday. The dude started with $1,500. Enough. I got to talk through some shit. Here we go. It's over with for the airlines. The people that keep saying, this is just kind of a 9/11 shock to the airlines, are going to recover. No, they're not. I was supposed to fly on 9/11, literally that day, and I raced out to the air station and ended up sitting alert in an F-18 Hornet and getting airborne on an alert a couple days later. 9/11 was a one-day attack, folks. Yeah, I know we thought for the next couple days, as I was flying combat air patrol over the southwest United States, that we'd be attacked. We weren't. Folks, this is going to be the next 2 weeks of this country will change the complexion of this country, and this will take at least 2 years to work through. This came off, and one of the reasons you want to be here at TGO is this cell phone right here is worth $1 billion. The contacts that I have in here, the intelligence that I get throughout the day is priceless. This came off a pilot board at Delta. This is incredibly serious, a big deal we will all remember as a low point in our careers, like the 9/11 or bankruptcy. It's worse than that. Traffic has dropped off the face of the earth. I'm canceling my trip to Aspen next week, by the way, which I guess is good for members. I'm still taking time off next week, guys. I need a little bit of a breather from making people money. Traffic, and I was flying on Delta with the family. Traffic has dropped off the face of the earth. Did you see an American Airlines pilot tested positive for coronavirus? Well, that's just fantastic. Let's keep going with Delta. We will continue flying to Europe and bringing Americans and non-revers home through next week. Air traffic has halted to a continent, besides just China, for 30 days. After that, no more Europe travel, except for a few places in the UK. Company is responding significantly, saving cash, cutting all costs possible. The last time I saw a sentence like that, the next sentence said, "Dear crew member, you're furloughed." Pulling out April bid package, and this is all pilot talk here. Furloughs have not been discussed yet, but this is not off the table. Expecting a 50% drop in revenues. This recovery will be maybe very slow, 6 months, best case, possibly 2 years. Park plan. They're talking about parking airplanes and putting them in early retirement. Folks, I'm not even going to go on with this. So what's that mean? Well, Wiz, the futures are limit up right now. This has got to be the dumbest sucker. Delta Airlines is up 14% right now. Implosion, little bit of a bounce. Implosion, rip your face off rally. Come on, folks. If you get lured into this little bull trap that we're seeing today, you're an idiot, and you deserve to get smashed into the dirt. Folks, whatever the president, 5-drink tequila Pelosi or Schumer agreed with, it doesn't put people on airplanes. Giving me $1,000 or $5,000 I'm not running out to Costco, especially in God's waiting room in here in Boca, to get coughed on by a bunch of 80-year-olds. Stimulus is going to do nothing. Did you see the Federal Reserve a couple weeks? An emergency half-a-point cut. Rally. Implosion. Did you see the Fed yesterday in the worst day since the 1987 crash? I had to keep refreshing my computer to make sure I was counting the zeros right. $1.5 trillion. You should always remember yesterday, folks. Stocks plunged 10%. I predicted yesterday, folks. I said the Dow has another 10 to 20% to go. When the closing bell sounded, it wasn't down 9, it wasn't down 11, it was down 10. I nailed it to the percent. Stocks plunged 10% in the Dow's worst day since 1987. You have to remember this day, and you probably always will if your portfolio is hurting. Why? Because this is the Fred Sanford day. The Federal Reserve stepped in. It wasn't, people on CNBC using bazooka. It wasn't a bazooka. That was a nuclear weapon that the Fed launched yesterday into the market, and it did nothing. You know the markets are in trouble when the government steps in to help and the market shrugs. Okay. Here's some great news. I'm hearing from people on my cell phone that are up in a big district. The president and the vice president might have coronavirus. There's Jair Bolsonaro. That's the president of Brazil. That's his press secretary, who's infected. There they are at Mar-a-Lago. There's the infected press secretary of Brazil with Trump and Pence. They think Bolsonaro has it. EWZ was down like 17% today. EWZ is up 12% right now. Folks, this dead bat bounce, we might recover about half of what we got yesterday. Sell into it with both hands. Sell every rip in this market and do not buy the dip. I'm going to tell you what the buy signals are today at 11. And oh, by the way, Mrs. Lincoln, other than that, how was the play? We attacked Iranian-backed militias last night in Iraq. They killed 2 of our troops and a British soldier. The last time Iran-backed militias or Iranians killed Americans a month or 2 ago, people were frothing at the mouth that Trump was going to get us in World War III, and we attacked. They attacked Scott. Did you even hear about this? I'm stunned. I'm talking to people. All they're doing is frothing at the mouth about coronavirus. I'm like, do you know that the president, that 2 Americans, you want to talk about coronavirus? Who cares? There's 2 families in America whose soldiers are dead. Iran, brilliant move. Why? 15% of their parliament has coronavirus. They are letting it run through the country. They have they can't contain it. What do? You call in the boogeyman. You start accusing the United States of doing this thing. And I will forever put this on my tombstone as well. Donald Trump lied to the American people. Donald Trump on day 1 knew that this was a biological weapon accidentally released from the only level 4 lab in China, which is in Wuhan. You know what China's doing now? We actually think you guys, your military, brought this into Wuhan. Are you shitting me? Donald Trump didn't say a word at the beginning and tell us the truth. I told you the truth, folks. I told you the truth to the point that right now that Facebook is actually flagged Top Gun Options as fake news. Never got a warning from Facebook, never got anything that our fact checkers dispute this. 2.5 months ago, I told you this. And the reason Trump didn't come out and tell us the truth was because he wanted what? That phase 1 trade deal to go through. Anybody ever hear the word phase 1 trade deal again? It's over with. Now the Chinese, this is how wars start, folks. They did this. The president knew it. That first press conference, I was like, I'm tweeting my folks. I'm like, he's lying through his teeth. The guy looks like shit. He sounds like shit. He knows what the truth is. World governments don't freak the hell out. Italy doesn't shut its country down because of just the flu. This ain't just the flu. So now Iran is saying the U.S. biologically did this, and their people are like, oh my God. And China's now saying it's your typical deny, counter accuse. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. As a matter of fact, I think you did this. This is how wars start. So, Dr. Fauci, he's the smartest guy in the room right now. Sat in front of the Congress the other day, sat in front of the Senate yesterday. We will see millions of infections in America, and this is 10 times more lethal. There's an idiot I booted off my Facebook page last night. There's 50,000 people at CPAC, and nobody tested, or one guy tested positive. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, how many test kits we have? Or how many tests were done this week? 77. That's not a misprint. Do you know that yesterday some jackass couple from New York City, which is kind of redundant terms, hopped on a JetBlue flight. The guy had been tested for coronavirus, was waiting for the test, got the results airborne, positive. They landed in Palm Beach, kept everybody in an airplane for 3 hours to know, just to let them stew in the guy's infection, and then let them go. I'm trying to help you guys out here, man. This is going to be horrific. This hasn't even started yet. And oh, by the way, folks, oil is in a bear market. And the idiot, Donald Trump, and the other idiot, whoever fund manager was just on there, this is not a tax rebate. When Schlumberger, Apache, Occidental, NOV, when these oil companies or oil service companies lay off hundreds of thousands of employees, your little $10 extra you just got from filling up your tank will do nothing to offset Chapter 11 bankruptcies in oil service companies. Period. Donald Trump is an idiot for saying that. He will regret that text. Oh, and by the way, if you're in New Rochelle, New York, or I'm hearing they might even put the National Guard, the Washington State Guard around Seattle. How many of you are running out to fill up your car right now when you're going to be inside for 2 weeks? If you see anybody on CNBC, Fox Business say that low oil prices are good, the guy's mentally retarded. And he has no idea what he's talking about. He does not understand math. This happened before, folks, in 2013. They trotted out the same idiots, and who ended up being right? Me. It's horrible for the economy. Here's another one I nailed. Disney closed. We bought the hell out of Disney puts and have printed money to this date. Well, hold on, Wiz. Getting some text today. It's up pre-market. Can you explain to me how Disney closing its parks is bullish? Tens of thousands of people in California and Orlando don't have work. Well, they said they're going to pay for them for 2 weeks. Do you think that Disney is a charity? Do you think that after 2 weeks, they're going to just keep paying people to sit home and not go to work? I will say this again in this brief, folks. Steve Mnuchin, we're focused on the test kit shortage issue. That's the stimulus. Part of Nancy Pelosi's stimulus plan today that I saw leaked, the biggest thing is free testing. What the hell? Duh. That's what you guys have been working on for days. As your part of your package, the biggest thing is like we'll get free testing. We don't even have enough kits. So Disney being a whiz, you were right. They did close the parks, but now it's going back up to 100. I'm going to sell the shit out of this bounce. Is Donald Trump going to announce a bailout of Disney? How are we bailing out a cruise ship industry where the cruise ships aren't even U.S. flagged vessels? Hey, Diamond Princess, why don't you go to the government of Cameroon or wherever you're flagged? We're not giving you a nickel. I am against bailout of any business. I said this in 2008. I'll say it again today. No business should be saved. That might sound like Gordon Gekko. That's how you build America and a strong company. Donald Trump, call sign Chapter 11, should know about this. Businesses need to be able to fail. Do not take my hard-earned tax money and bail out a shitty business like an airline. It is not my responsibility to bail you out. What about my buddies who own restaurants in Fort Lauderdale around the port, whose waiters and waitresses are gone? The bartenders are gone. They're going to go out of business. Where's their bailout? Let's bail out the airlines and the cruise ship industry. Your shitty business model is not an excuse to take my tax money. Suck on that. Help the average worker, help the average employee. Payroll tax cut? Absolutely. Bailout of an industry? No. Didn't we learn this in 9/11? You shouldn't be too big to fail. What happened to the banks the other day in the meeting with the president? The answer was like, yeah, we're actually good. We're very well capitalized. That's why the market shrugged yesterday, folks, when they came out with their, quote, bazooka. They dropped a nuke on the market, and it didn't work. Why? The banks have a shitload of money right now. Do you think they're going to loan it to you? The answer is no. Dr. Fauci, the system's failing. 150 million Americans could get infected. CDC worst case scenario, 1.7 million deaths. I talked to people in a big building with 5 sides on it in Washington. It's double that number in the Pentagon. Wake up. Wow. Brazilian positive for coronavirus days after posing with Trump and Pence. And we know it's contagious. Patients are contagious up to 37 days. So I'm trying to help you out here, folks. Free brief at 11 a.m. Go.topgunoptions.com/brief. Ladies and gentlemen, I have used, Top Gun Options members have used any one of these rallies to sell the hell into it. Remember, government stimulus doesn't cure a disease. It doesn't even help the symptoms, so to speak. Hey, the government just cut everybody in America a check. And guess what I heard? That not everybody will get it. We'll means test it, meaning if you made more than this, you don't get it. So you're taking my money and giving it to other people. I think that's bullshit. I think everybody should pay 15. Where's Donald Trump? He ran on this, right? Here's a postcard. You're going forward. You're filling out your taxes on a postcard thing. And what I'm doing, I got 90 pages of tax shit. Donald Trump lied about that. And oh, by the way, why doesn't everybody get cash in their pocket? So Donald Trump's now Bernie Sanders, right? Let's take from the rich and give to the poor. Actually, Robin Hood didn't do that. He took from the government, right, and gave it back to actually the people who paid it. So anyway, I'm having a blast. This is great. So just like every one of these folks, we're probably at the open going to get back half of this. This is not the bottom. I said all the way down here that we haven't seen panic selling yet. You know when we saw it? Yesterday. The day before and yesterday. This is when the panic selling started. This is not the all clear. And I'm going to show you some tweets that the president will hopefully live to regret. Right here, he said, stocks look good to me. We've lost essentially 1,000 points off the S&P 500, even more, since the president said the stocks look good. Dumbest tweet that guy's posted, and that's saying a lot. Sell the rip. Do not buy the dip. Sell the dip. And you're going to find out at 11 o'clock. Go.topgunoptions.com/brief. Even if you can't attend, you have to register to get the replay, folks. Okay? Watch it over the weekend. Get what my game plan is. We're already at 1,000. We just got, we're over 1,000, folks. So, little rules of engagement for this morning. I'm going to brief. It's going to be transmit only, very little reply. If you're sitting there asking about my individual stock and stuff like this, I'm not going to answer it. Become a member, and then we'll talk about it. And we are only opening full throttle max annual memberships today. No monthlies, no trials, no anything. We're not doing any tire kicking right now, folks. If you want to get on board and see how I've made millionaires out of people in the past couple weeks, get on board. If not, we're going to close the doors today, and I don't think we're doing – where's my calendar? I don't think the full throttles until the next full time we open the doors will be the end of April. and it ain't going to be pretty until April. Okay, folks, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Got to trade this open. God bless, and we'll. I can't believe Mnuchin. That's the only headline I'm seeing as he's interviewed in front of the White House. We're focusing on the test kit shortage. A shortage of test kit, folks, is not what this country needs. But guess what? If we get a lot of test kits in America, what do you think the infection rate's going to do? It's going to explode. I guarantee you people are walking around the face of this country right now who are infected and don't know they are. Got to go. Trade in the open. See you at 11.